Good morning, everybody. How we doing today?
Great. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, thank you. Just gonna give it another minute or two here. Got some more people joining in. And did you guys get your text message earlier about the reminder for daily group coaching today? Just out of curiosity.
I did get it.
Thank you. All right. Does anybody have any good news? No, nobody. Scott, how we doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
Good, good.
Got a new listing yesterday, and then we fixed my Z buyer and got a response yesterday. I have an appointment with them this afternoon.
Nice, very cool.
Yeah. So thanks to your tech team.
Very good. It's always good to hear.
Yeah. Are we being recorded yet?
We'll resume the recording for this conversation here. No, it was wonderful watching the Bills lose on Monday night. It was great. There's nothing better than watching the Buffalo Bills lose to the Patriots that I also hate, but hate less than the Bills.
Do you text Colton right after, or Isaiah right afterwards, and rub it in?
No, I let him sulk on it, and then I came in yesterday in my dad's old 70s Dolphins jacket with my Dolphins dress shirt on underneath, so that like even when I took the coat off, he still had to deal with the shirt, you know? It was perfect. Oh man,
I just think you should get a Scott Norcroft jersey.
Oh yeah, I want one of the ones that has like his last name going down the right shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Because it's like wide, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna get one of those for him for Christmas. All right, so let's see here. Just trying to figure out where Isaiah's at, because I know we do have. All right. So it looks like there was a little bit of a change of plan for today because Ben's not feeling well. He was going to jump on and go through a listing presentation as well as like an in-person like listing presentation that you can print out, but one that's also digital as well. But we do have some exciting news, which is our brand new Z Buyer Masterclass. And I'm going to be making sure that all of you get access to that masterclass as long as you're a Ren client who would feel like they would benefit from this Z Buyer Masterclass. Anybody? Since all of you have your cameras off except for Scott. All right, Scott, I guess it's just you. So today's training is specifically for you. No, I'm just kidding. But Isaiah and I took a lot of time with this Z Buyer Masterclass to really map it out. Every single objection that you would typically hear, every script that you would need for the Z Buyer leads, right? At how the leads are actually generated, as well as how to approach these leads has all been documented in this masterclass. So I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview of the PowerPoint that we use to follow it, and then also the live class. So bear with me for 1 second. I'm just trying to find it here. Lee, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. A little bit frazzled,
Yeah.
trying to do 10 things at once.
Oh, I get you. I get you. So for everybody that is in the Zoom meeting today, I just dropped a link in the chat. And if you go to that link, you can create your free login for the ZBuyer Masterclass that we're about to walk through. So that would be the step 1. And if you could just put "got it" in the chat, if you were able to go there and create your logins. Just want to make sure everybody has a chance to do it. So we'll just take a minute here.
John, I'm just signing up. I don't need to do the master class because I'm signing up tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, this is just for everybody. This is like how to work ZBuyer leads,
No, I
how to
know.
yeah. So I would still recommend it regardless.
Okay.
But
So when is that class actually tomorrow or?
no. So that's like an online class that you can go through at your own pace. They're like,
Could I put a couple of my agents, if they want to be a part of it, have them sign up
course.
too?
Of
Okay.
course. All right, I'm logged in here and I'm going to share my screen while you guys are working on that. If someone can confirm, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. And Marcel, to answer your question, no, if you're a Ren client, you get access to this masterclass for free. So all you have to do is click on that link and you're just creating a username and password to log into it. And then it looks like this right here. And there are 6 sections to this masterclass. We've got the introduction, which goes over ZBuyer lead mastery, as well as introducing how the leads are generated and where Ren comes into play with ZBuyer leads. Section 2 is all about database marketing and lead follow-up strategies in regards to ZBuyer leads. Social media and video. Prospecting and lead conversion mastery, which is obviously the longest part of this course because Isaiah and I went through intro to prospecting, psychology of objection handling, the 7 steps, understanding knee-jerk responses, scripting, the most common hard objections that you'll see, and your listing and closing presentations, again, tailored around ZBuyer leads. But a lot of the information that you're going to learn throughout this course, guys, can be utilized with other lead sources as well. Our talk track is just a little bit more tailored towards ZBuyer in this specific section here. And then once you guys have completed the course, there's a nice little 3-minute conclusion video to kind of recap everything that we went over. And this class would probably take you about 2 hours altogether. My recommendation would be trying to do at least 1 section a day, because 1 section is probably about 10 to 15 minutes of your morning, and you could have the entire course done within a week. So that's kind of where I would start off. Okay. And if you see this Google Slides document here, our sales acceleration blueprint goes lead gen, lead follow-up, social media and video, lead conversion, client experience, agent attraction. And if you go over to the masterclass, we actually follow those same 6 steps in these different sections. And we go over everything from what ZBuyer is, to how the leads are generated, to what Ren does for you with ZBuyer leads, how to set up your database marketing, right? What Ren technologies you guys can use, all the way through each of these 6 sections. So considering that there are 33 slides in this presentation, and each of those slides was gone over in a video at some point in here, like I said, it's about 2 hours worth of content that you guys have access to go through. So anybody excited to go through this?
I am.
Tina, I know you just jumped in. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat here again. Give me 1 second here. So if you go, oops, sorry, Marcel, I just sent that to you directly on accident. So if you go to that link, Tina, you'll be able to make a free account to log into this ZBuyer Masterclass. And then you'll be able to go through the masterclass at your own pace. But again, it's about 2 hours worth of content. I would recommend trying to do 1 section a day for a week until you can get through all of it, okay? Who in here, show of hands or yes in the chat, have ZBuyer leads coming in right now? Tina does, Scott does, Marcel does, Dee does. Nice, I love to hear it. Debbie does. I know Lee, you and I are gonna connect either today or tomorrow at some point to go over getting that set up. I just need to talk to you about that. So, well, I already told Amy to get you in my calendar.
Yep. Yeah, I had meetings. I didn't have a chance to respond because I just went from one meeting right to this.
Got it. Yeah, okay. So I mean, tomorrow I could do probably around like 4 o'clock, or Friday afternoon. I'm pretty open. So just send me an email with what works for you and we'll figure it out,
Sounds
okay?
good. I appreciate you. Thanks.
No problem. Alrighty, so it looks like, right, Sam waiting a month to have Ren connect with ZBuyer. So Sam, if you don't mind, give me a little bit more information on that. What do you mean by waiting to have Ren connect with ZBuyer?
So the leads I got coming in from ZBuyer are not going into my hub.
Oh, they're not. What's
No.
your last name, Sam?
Z as in zebra, IEOUR.
Okay, give me 1 second here. And Sam, do you know what level of client you are?
3.
Are you on, you're on the level 3? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking you up in our system here. Looks like Amy Forrester's your marketing coach. That sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will connect with her personally and make sure that we get that fixed for you. Okay.
That'd be nice.
No problem. I know there was a little bit of a glitch in the system where the unique email address that the leads were forwarding to was
Well,
changing.
Yeah, it's still a glitch. So
Yep. So I'll go in there myself and fix that for you, and I'll connect with Amy to make sure it gets done. All right.
thanks.
No problem, Sam. Isaiah, thanks for joining. How you doing? You're on mute, brother, if you're talking.
Well, I
So
said
we're supposed, sorry. So are we supposed to do this class on our own, just when we get time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Like I said, I would just recommend doing probably like 1 section a day, make it part of your morning routine until you get through it. Because each section's probably, Isaiah, would you say 15 minutes to a half an hour long, depending on the section?
yeah. What I would say too, John, is during the prospecting and lead conversion time blocks that we have Tuesday and Thursday, you could go through a section kind of like in the beginning of the meeting and just kind of work your way through it that way too, for the people that wanted that.
Yep, we could do that as well.
But Marcel, would that be helpful to you? As if we just kind of walk through the master class Tuesday, Thursday for a little bit each day?
Sure. What time?
That is the Tuesday, Thursday, 1:15 to 2:15 prospecting training.
Okay, prospecting training. Okay,
Mhm.
sounds good. This wouldn't come up on my computer. I couldn't get you on my computer. I had to get you on my phone. It wouldn't
Got
open
it.
up. Mm.
Interesting. Okay. All right, cool. So, but John, are we good? Did you cover what you needed to cover?
Yep, we went through the getting signed into the ZBuyer Masterclass. I sent everybody in here the link, and then walked through the different sections with them as well as the PowerPoint.
Okay, cool. So just a review from last week and the week before. Last week, we talked a lot about implementing postcards and doing the different ways you can use postcards through circle prospecting, through just listed, just sold campaigns, your SOI, and just went over all the different ways that you could utilize postcards. I wanted to see if anybody had any questions related to last week's topic upon reflection or implementation before we go into this week's topic. And John, I'm going to be talking out of the, I'm going to be working out of the, doing a listing consultation section of the playbook, if you don't mind pulling that up for today.
The what, sorry? The
Listing presentation section in the playbook.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you said the prospecting playbook. I was like, the what?
No, that's all good.
Hey,
All right. So yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah, I have a question as to the circle prospecting.
Yes.
So would that work just as well as I have a buyer campaign, meaning in where I'm located at, I'm sure everywhere else, we're
Mhm.
short inventory.
Yep.
However, if I have a client who is looking at a particular neighborhood,
Mhm.
and so that circle prospecting postcard, would that work? And are we able to change the wording somewhat? Or
Yeah.
would-
Yeah. So is the goal, just to make sure I'm understanding you right, the goal is to truly, sincerely try to find a buyer in that area, or you're
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
using
Trying to find a listing for a buyer in
a
that.
listing. Sorry. Yes. You're trying to find a listing. I think that's a great question. What I would recommend doing is setting up a time to, if you go to like renspostcards.com or renpostcards.com, I believe there's like a 1-800 number that you can ask them how customized you can make the circle prospecting campaigns, or like the just listed, just sold campaigns,
Mhm.
and see what they can do for you.
Okay.
So, and working as well. I personally haven't ever done that type of campaign, so I mean, quite frankly, it'd be interesting to do an A/B test, on it, and then get some feedback from you,
Okay. Mhm.
to see which one worked better. We know. Go ahead.
So if you pick out a subdivision that you would like to send postcards to, does Ren bring up all the addresses for that? And, when we're going to send out the postcards?
John, why don't you walk
Yeah.
us through the postcard, Real Postcard Pro, and what it does?
Sure. Yeah. So obviously everybody in here that's a Ren client, you guys know you have access to Ren Geo, right? So what we would do is, if you wanted to do a geo farming campaign with your postcards, you would give us the specific areas that you would want to target. We can go in and then pull the names, emails, phone numbers, and addresses for that specific area. And then when you sign up to the Ren Postcard Pro, you get 600 of your leads marketed to through postcards once a month for 12 months. And all we would need from you on your end is 12 properties that you've closed in the past. So these are probably going to be your top 12 properties that you would want to market. And then quick statements about each of those properties, And then what we do is we custom tailor these postcards around your closings. And then we send those postcards out to those 600 properties throughout the course of the year. And when they get the postcard in the mail, on the backside, there's actually a QR code that they can scan on their phone, and it takes them to a lead capture page. So it'll actually tell you that they went to that site. Now, if it's someone new that does not exist in your system, it'll pop up in your system as a new lead from that source. But the cool part is if they're already in your system, which they should be if it's a geo-farmed lead, right? Because you're putting that in your Ren Marketing Hub. When they click on that URL and fill out that information, our database scans that information against what's in your Ren Marketing Hub account. And if it already exists there, it's going to update that lead with a note saying that they went to your landing page, and you're going to get a notification of that activity so that you know, okay, this person, and this person went to the landing page and requested more information. Janice, yes. So the Ren Postcard Pro is an additional upgrade service to the regular core Database Pro package.
Marcel, were you talking about a geofarm, or were you talking about doing like a just listed, just sold postcard campaign?
She was talking about the.
I've signed up with this golf course, and I'm with doing a magazine, and I'm going to be in the magazine. So I would like to follow up and send postcards too, so they'll see me more than just in the magazine.
Yeah. How many magazines are going out in the area?
They said 25,000.
Wow.
Okay. And then do you have a specific geographical area that you really want to hit within that area?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that campaign would be perfect. Would be perfect for what you're looking to accomplish then.
Okay.
And what we can even do, Marcel, is take our ranking leads, or sorry, take the ranking.
I appreciate that.
Ben, if you don't mind muting out, brother.
I got it.
So Marcel, we can take the AI that we have and apply that to 600 leads in the area, or a whole bunch of leads in the area, and then take the top 600 to really target to.
Okay.
And you can do more than 600 too, obviously, but that's just the initial starting package. And yeah, that would be really effective, because now you're sending your postcards to people that are likely to move with the behavioral ranking, and not just sending them to just random people that you have no idea if they're going to move or not.
That'd be better. Yes. I don't want to be wasting my money.
Right.
Yeah.
So Marcel, if you want some more information on that, or if anybody else is interested in doing a campaign like that, just go ahead and shoot me an email. I'll drop my email in the chat again here for any of you that don't have it. But just send me an email and make the subject line something like interested in Ren postcards, and then we can go from there and further the conversation. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And Marcel, a couple suggestions too, and this is for anybody that's really trying to target a neighborhood in an area. A couple suggestions is when you get with your marketing coach, or if you're just doing this yourself, that's the area that you really want to focus your other campaigns too. So like if you have doing like an email campaign or a text messaging campaign. So think about, this is where like the new era of real estate is going, is multiple channels of marketing, right? Multiple channels of outreach. And so if you can kind of, for lack of a better term, Marcel, carpet bomb, right, that area through multiple channels, the ROI will just get better and better, because they're just seeing you everywhere. They'll start thinking like, and here's what happens with that kind of brand awareness. They're like, Marcel must be like the best agent in the world, because I see her everywhere. Like I see her on Facebook, and I see her in my email, and I got a text from her, and I got a postcard from her, and she's in a freaking magazine, for goodness sakes. Right. And without you even like having to like have a really unique value proposition, they're just seeing you everywhere in that area. So they're like, wow, like, and how many times I bought stuff that when I first saw it, I was kind of interested, but then I kept seeing that person or that brand over and over again. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. Like, and that's the power of our system and kind of what we're doing. And Marcel, when you get all that set up, just make a mental note, because in January, we're rolling out a service where you can take some educational videos that you do, and we're going to be able to actually do a paid ad campaign and surround that entire area on Facebook. Like every lead, we can surround that. So they'll see you everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media networks.
That'd be
So,
awesome. Sounds
yeah.
great.
So
And
they'll
one
see you in
time-
they'll see you in the magazine, they'll see you in the postcards, they'll see you like in the email, the text. You get what I'm saying? So
Great.
what were you
And one
saying?
time I did an open house, and I get realtor.com leads, and also there for a while they had it where you could buy a city, and
Nice.
you'd be the first one. And anyway, so I bought half of Buford, and so I had a listing there. And so someone came in my open house. I said, "Hi, I'm Marcel." She said, "Oh, I know who you are. Your picture's all over realtor.com."
Mhm.
That's a great example. So,
Right.
so if you can leverage the other platforms to get your face everywhere, right? That's going to be really powerful.
Great. Sounds great.
And then Isaiah, to add to that too, like Marcel, say you're doing an open house and you've got a bunch of old age realtor.com and Zillow type leads like that. What you can do is record a quick video about your open house, showcasing the listing that you're going to be doing the open house with, and then doing a mass email blast to all of those late age leads to try to get them to show up to your open house.
Great idea. Yeah, that's good.
Cool. Good. Any other questions before we move on for today's training? And this is I know we've gone a little bit longer on Q&A, but these are really good questions from last week's training. Cool. So just think multi-channel marketing. Just keep that in your mind. Anyway, is just you want to get your name and your face everywhere that you possibly can. And Ren's here to help you do that. Okay. So, all right. So today we're going to be talking about your listing presentation. How many people on a scale of 1 to 10 feel like they have a rock solid listing presentation and closing strategy for their business on a scale of 1 to 10? Drop it in the chat for me that you are just a rock star and ready, like whoever you get in front of, right? 3, cool. All right, so we're going to spend a couple weeks. You're going to want to make sure that you come back, because this is the foundational. This is going to be probably like a 3-part series. So you're going to want to make sure you come back to this each week, because we're going to take a deep dive into this process of developing your listing presentation. Okay. You guys ready to take some notes? We good to go? All right. So John, if you don't mind sharing the screen.
Yep.
Okay. So couple really important things when it comes to your listing presentation that you need. I call this your marketing arsenal. This is not actually in the 2021 playbook, but it will be in the 2022. First thing that you need is a really good credibility packet. Okay, you need a really good credibility packet. It's some people call it like a pre-listing packet. I don't like calling it a pre-listing packet because like that sets triggers for some people that are not necessarily ready to list but are in a discovery phase right now wanting to meet with you. So I call it a credibility packet or your marketing plan. You can call it anything along those lines. Okay. So you need a really good credibility packet. We have samples we're going to give you that you can make your own that are proven. Okay. You're also going to need especially if you haven't gone out on I would say if you if you're not consistently going out on like 70 to 100 listing presentations a year, okay, you need a rock solid listing presentation. So you need, that's the second thing you need, is you need a listing presentation. Okay. The third thing that you need is you need a script and dialogue that goes along with that listing presentation. Okay. And the next thing that you need is a really good CMA tool, a tool that does a really good job doing a comparative marketing analysis. So you need a really good tool for CMA. Do CMA. And you need a really, and then the next thing is you need a really great follow-up process. Really great follow-up process. So those are the keys to becoming a dominant listing agent at the table. So there's a lot of things before that, but when you're at the table, this is your marketing arsenal. And then the other thing that I almost forgot is you need to make sure that you have really good, unique value propositions that speak to the pain and motivation of your seller, of your ideal client. We're going to unpack all of this over the next 3 to 4 weeks in a series. Again, today is foundational overview week. And I got Benjamin Lang, the listing guru, the master here. He just does an unbelievable job in a really tough market. And so Ben, thanks for joining us today to kind of talk through some of these things. And John, just for a minute here, I'm gonna sidestep a little bit here and have Ben go first now that he's ready to go. If you don't mind stopping to share the screen. Okay. So Ben, why is a credibility packet important for you before you go out on the appointment, and how do you use it?
Yeah, so I am really big on making the listing appointment about the actual seller rather than myself. I want to come from humility, and so the credibility packet for me allows me to get my results and my plan and who I am, and a lot of questions that they're going to have inevitably anyway out of the way before I walk through the door, so that when I do walk through that door, I can dive into more question-based selling and learn their pain points, and try and figure out what problem I'm actually trying to solve for them, rather than making it about me and this is how many houses I've sold and this is what I'll do. And it's just, for me, it's personal preference. I probably take it a little bit to the extreme, but my goal is to be as conversational as possible when I'm actually in the house.
How do you use that credibility packet? And if I missed it, do you send it in the mail? Do you bring it with you? How do you use that actual credibility packet?
Well, they always get an email, and there's videos in our email that we send prior to the appointments. If I have time, I'll drop off a copy prior to the appointment. Right now, there's never enough time for us to actually get one in the mail. Yep. But we found that that people will watch. I have 3-minute videos, or less than 3 minutes, and people will watch those videos because we can track it. We can see what they're doing on our end.
Cool. Awesome. And then you attach the credibility packet to that?
I do. I do. Yep. In fact, we just sent one out. I can kind of show you
Yeah.
what
Great.
it looks like if you
You guys want to
want.
see it? You guys want to see what it looks like when he sends out?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's see. We'll do mailboxes. Disregard all my.
That's all right. No.
Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, so you see in the subject where it says the street address, and then it says action required before we meet, action required, all caps. And then we've got, as a reminder, our appointment is December 15th at 3 p.m. Please watch these 3 videos below to make the most of our time together. And then I tell them spending 10 minutes now saves us 45 minutes later. And that's kind of the trick, I think. There's an advantage to them to actually review the information, whether they watch the videos or not. And it just says, here's about myself, my team, our proven results. And so this first one is the actual credibility packet, which is, if you click, it goes to my website and they can download the credibility packet right there, and in a PDF format. And I'll walk through that in a minute. But this is a video that is basically the whole print version in a video, in a quick video, because people like video. So here's what the page looks like. And then in that same email, I've got my marketing plan and pricing strategies, and each one has a video. And then I've got reviews, average days on market, list to sale price ratio, my actual website, search website. And then these are my 20 and 21 listings, so they can see exactly what I've sold recently.
We're still seeing just the same thing. We're not seeing anything you talked about past your image there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not seeing the email anymore?
We're seeing the email, but nothing you're describing.
Okay. Let me do a stop share real quick.
Yeah, we
and
see.
reshare.
We said we did. You guys see anything that he was describing, or was that just me?
I saw some links. I wasn't sure if he was.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the whole email right now, right?
Now we're seeing the whole thing. Now I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now I'll walk you through it real quick. So this first one is the credibility packet. When they click here, it takes them to a page on my website where they can download the PDF version. There's also a less than 3-minute video that is the credibility packet, but in a video format. My marketing plan, they can download the PDF. They can also watch a short video. And then pricing strategies, they can download the PDF or watch a short video. A little bit about myself, my average days on market, my list to sale price ratio, my websites. I tell them that I utilize Google pay-per-click and paid Facebook and Instagram ads to drive traffic to my listings. And then this is all of my listings that I've sold in 20 and 21, just for recent listings, so they can see the volume and see the geographic, the spread, how far spread out things are, so I can kind of get past the "you're not my local realtor."
Yeah. I think
So
the psychology of this has been is you're trying to give them the information up front, so that way you get less objections about or questions at the actual meeting.
exactly, like I said, I really want to focus my attention on the client when I'm there, and I don't, of course I have my marketing plan, I have my pricing strategy with me at all times. And if I'm in Metro Detroit, so there's a lot of engineers in this area. So if I've got an engineer that really wants me to walk through it page by page, I will. It's all about knowing your audience, really. But in this way, I can, for my high Ds, they don't want me to walk through marketing things at the actual house. Like, they'd rather have an advance, and I give them a bullet pointed verbal
Cool.
breakdown or brief breakdown of what it is. And so it's really knowing your audience, but this I think, it has helped me quite a bit.
Awesome. How do you prepare for your appointment? So I know this is part of it. You send this out. What else do you do to prepare for your appointment?
Yeah, so I do a lot of digging in BSNA for tax records, look for open permits. I pull my comparable sales before I go to the appointment. I bring an iPad with me to every single appointment, and I don't use a printed CMA either. So I'm actually looking at I don't review the comps prior to, because I want it to be an experience where myself and the seller are looking, well, here's the best comparable sales for your house. So let's look at them one by one. Let's look through the photos together. Let's look at the description together and see how it stacks up against and let's formulate the appropriate price together as a collaborative effort. That's the way I do it.
Right. So they don't feel like you're shoving it down their throat. They feel like you're actually consulting with them on the process. So, and look, if some of you don't feel comfortable with that approach and you want to prepare in advance, you can still do that, but just pay more attention to the strategy, right? So like, even though you have all that information, you still want to go into that appointment, right? Walking them through as if it's a discovery on how to get there together. Does that make sense to everybody? You did that. That's what I'm hearing, is that it's a really, and if I was sitting in that, I personally would enjoy that more, because if somebody goes in and say, yep, so here's my price, here's where you need to price the home, you better believe I'm going to ask 42 questions anyway, right? And those 42 questions are going to be all the same things as what it would take as if we walked through that journey to get to the price together. This makes sense by show of hands? So
yeah, listen, Isaiah, in 2010, 11, when I was going on a ton of short sale appointments, in that environment in our society in 2010, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think we could do a lot more tell and sell. I think our society has shifted in probably the last 3-4 years, especially, where I think the collaborative effort with the homeowner is much more powerful at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It builds trust because their wall is up, right? And they think they have access to similar information that you do, right? So they're already thinking in their head, I'm going to research this anyway, right? like they're think, to Ben's point, they're thinking a lot different. So if we just go through that process with them, it's going to build so much trust and rapport. And again, you can still do your research in advance if you feel more comfortable with that. So you're prepared and you can still know what that number is, but it's how you deliver the information, which is really powerful. So I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I think that was a really, really important point that you made, Ben. And is there any CMA tools that you use? I know we've been talking about a couple of them in the background, like High Note's been out there. We love to use Cloud CMA. We're integrating Cloud CMA. Is there any, Lee, does anybody have any tools they're using for the CMA process that you guys want to talk about?
I always do the collaborative effort, and if it's more of a report, I'm just using HomeBot
Cool.
with no work involved at all.
Awesome. So I can only speak to Cloud CMA. We're going to show you that. We're going to show you Cloud CMA in a little bit here in a couple weeks. That's kind of like our go-to, but there's a lot of great tools out there. Lee, have you had a chance to interact with that High Note? I know that you were talking about High Note a little bit, or like, is there a go-to CMA tool that you use, Lee?
We just have, I mean, we're nowhere as sophisticated as Ben is. You got it rock solid, but I'm actually having the CEO of High Note on one of my masterminds next month.
Oh, sweet.
And so I'll find out all the details and I'll report back.
I love it. That sounds great. So the other thing we like about Cloud CMA too is, and I'm excited to learn about High Note as well, but Cloud CMA has a really good integration with the Ren Moxie. I've heard of Moxie. It's good. So, all right. So we got that. I think we should end there today. We're gonna actually dig into the actual format of the listing presentation. Do you guys have any? Let's just do like 5 minutes of Q&A. Anybody have any questions for Ben?
If anyone wants to download what I have, I'm gonna put the a link where you can download it.
That'd be
and
great.
Use it as a reference and use it as a reference. I just put it in the chat, so I know a couple of people asked me to send it, but you can just go to that direct link and there's a download button there, and you can go ahead and download it yourself.
Love it. All right, we have what we call a listing domination toolkit. Can you guys see my screen? And what I want you guys to go through here, everything that we're going to be talking about is we have a resource in here. You can go ahead and grab it. And I'll make sure, Ben, that that is also included in here as well. All right, John, could you make sure that this listing domination toolkit is in the sales and marketing login toolkit? Can we double check that?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. I didn't realize I was on mute. Yep. I'll make sure that's in there.
All right, and for right now, guys, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this drive. I'm going to drop this drive right in your guys's chat here. And we're going to put together the most, oops, sorry, I just gave it to Ben only, hold on. We're going to build out the most amazing listing toolkit on the planet. How's that sound to you guys?
Awesome.
So make sure that if you have a listing agent on your team, bring them back next week because we're going to stay on this until, you know, until we have all things listings covered, until we've mastered our process of listing presentations, marketing materials, negotiations, overcoming objections. Like, we're going to take a deep dive into this process. So make sure you come back next week. Okay. So
Isaiah, I've got to jump off real quick.
Give Ben a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right. Any questions before we wrap it up? This helpful today, guys?
Yes.
This is the stuff, guys, that when we get these little things honed in, if we get everything honed in on that checklist, you're going to start seeing your closing rate and your conversion rate and even your appointment, you know, the conviction of how solid your process is, because you're going to be so convicted that you have like a better process than 90% of other agents out there. You're going to get more appointments. You're going to feel more comfortable on your presentation. Your follow-up is going to be better, and you're going to close more deals. Okay. So let's, if nobody else has any other questions, this is a great training. And remember, next Wednesday is we're going to keep this series going. And if you are either looking to grow a team or you have a team, I will be back and John will be back with you to discuss that on Friday at 1:15. Sound good?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.